Have you ever noticed how some men enter a room and everyone immediately pays attention? It is not just about expensive clothes or status, it is something deeper. It is that aura of gentlemanliness that few master these days. In a world where vulgarity and mediocrity are celebrated, the true gentleman stands out not as old-fashioned, but as extraordinary. The greatest business leaders, like Jeff Bezos of Amazon, learned a truth that few men understood. Elegance is not superfluous. It is a tool of power. The respect you receive does not come from what you own, but from how you present yourself and behave in every situation. That friend who always gets the best table at the restaurant without a reservation. The man who gets promoted faster at work even without being the most technical. The elegant CEO who always seems to be in control, even during crises. They all follow, consciously or not, the unbreakable rules I am about to reveal. Rule 1. Have your life planned, or at least your core. A true gentleman does not control every detail of his existence, but absolutely knows the rules of the game, and exactly where he is heading. Understanding your core values and what you stand for is the foundation for all daily decisions a man needs to make. Observe the men you admire. They have clarity. Prince William, for example, even with all the pressure from the British royalty, maintains a clear vision of his role and purpose. This clarity is what separates great men from mediocre ones. When you do not have a defined destination, any path will do. And this is exactly what differentiates an ordinary man from a gentleman. True gentlemen do not live in this state of uncertainty. They have overcome it and are now progressing to conquer the life they desire. And the question remains, do you know exactly where you want to be in 5 years? Or are you just improvising each day? Rule 2. Be cultured, educated, and informed. A gentleman never expresses opinions based on assumptions. He listens to a conversation with the purpose of learning from his interlocutor and only enters the debate when he has mastery over the discussed topic. While most men have only a superficial understanding of the world, with conversations revolving around the banal, a gentleman bases his ideas and opinions on various sources and schools of thought. He's aware of what happens in the world, but does not waste time with trivialities of celebrity life. Much of what we are as people is a combination of everything we have learned and encountered in life. The more you read, learn, and educate yourself, the greater the complexity of ideas and beliefs you can master. This leads to a massive shift in behavior. You develop more empathy for others and rise above the noise caused by ignorance. The difference between an ordinary man and a gentleman is that the latter never stopped learning. And you, when was the last time you read a book that expanded your worldview? Rule 3. Master the art of personal presentation. A gentleman knows that, however unfair it may seem, people will always judge a book by its cover. There are different seasons and different occasions where your presence will be required, and a gentleman has the knowledge to dress appropriately in these circumstances. It is a shame how many men are intimidated by clothes and never bother to understand the basics, ending up making fools of themselves. Instead of having 10 similar items, invest in quality pieces and take care of them. The long-term value will become evident when you start experimenting with premium items. A Rolex watch will always say more than 10 Casio watches. A gentleman should possess appropriate footwear for each occasion, from Oxfords to sneakers and summer footwear. Moving up, you will be amazed by the existence of fabrics beyond denim, and especially in summer days, you will find more comfortable and stylish alternatives. When you start learning about these things, the way people perceive, you can radically change for the better when you upgrade from a t-shirt to a tailored shirt with rolled-up sleeves. And there is a whole range of accessories for each occasion that will put you light years ahead of the mediocre man. And that is just in terms of fashion. The way you walk, how you sit, how you groom yourself. your mannerisms, your gestures, what you do with your hands. All these elements can be improved and mastered to your advantage. Have you noticed how successful men pay attention to every detail of their appearance? It is not vanity, it is strategy. Rule 4. Let your actions speak for you. A gentleman does not emphasize his plans and instead allows his results to showcase his position. Everyone thinks they are special and destined for greatness until you draw the line and peek behind the curtain. Unfortunately, for many men, there is nothing there. It takes a lot of effort to be an imposter, to pretend you are successful or virtuous. The irony is that if you dedicated time and the same effort, you could progress toward genuine success. Some people confuse confidence with arrogance. A gentleman is confident in his ability, but never arrogant about it. The great world leaders and successful CEOs rarely need to say how good they are. Their results speak for themselves. The difference between an ordinary man and an imposter is that the first works in silence, while the second makes noise to hide his lack of substance. Which category do you fit into? Rule 5. Understand that life is about serving others, not serving yourself. This is a big lesson that very few people understand correctly. This happens because it is a more advanced way of thinking about life, which requires that you have already overcome the fundamental obstacles of existence. To summarize the fundamentals, first, you must be able to take care of yourself and then take care of others. You must first criticize yourself and then criticize the world. Before you can change the world, you need to change yourself. Only after an individual manages to go beyond the basics can he live this life of true fulfillment. These people are usually change agents who, through sheer dedication to their work, manage to change the world for the better. Life is not about serving yourself, it is about serving others. The more people you serve, the higher the value you put into the world. Some of that value will inevitably be reflected back to you, but that is not the motivating factor. A notable example of this is the dedication of people like Warren Buffett to philanthropy. His fame, popularity, and wealth come as a result of pursuing an ideal beyond himself. His pursuit and dedication to the benefit of others is what led him to be considered successful and put on a pedestal. If you look at all truly successful people in history, they all followed exactly this model. The question is, are you building something that benefits only yourself or something that serves others? Rule 6. Be punctual. There is one resource we all have in limited capacity, and that resource is time. A gentleman will always value his time and the time of others. You should never cost others extra time that you could have optimized. Being punctual says so much about who you are as a person that you can build an entire profile of someone based on this simple act. People who are always late are lazy and poor managers of their own lives. Not arriving on time not only says you do not value the time of others, but shows you do not have your life together. You are simply unable to plan things properly. You are not really that intelligent and get easily distracted. You do not take relationships seriously and actively disrespect others by not behaving according to what you previously agreed upon. In simple terms, your word means nothing because you do not live by it. Want to transform your life? Start doing what you say you will do, and the perfect place to begin is showing up at the right time when you say you will. The most successful men in the world are rigorously punctual. And you, how much value do you give to your time and the time of others? Rule 7. Master the art of conversation. Stop being weird and talk to people. It is shocking the number of men unable to have a decent conversation with other people. They lack basic communication skills and choose to close themselves off instead of learning to overcome this deficiency, which many call being introverted. And nobody is born with pre-installed walking skills. You get good at it by practicing. You fail, you get up, and you try again. The same thing happens with your ability to speak in public and talk to people of the opposite gender. What you call introversion is just software you have not yet uninstalled on your drive. Once that is done, you can begin mastering the art of conversation. A gentleman should be able to entertain discussions with any type of person and make it a pleasant conversation for both himself and his companion. Reach a level where you can talk to anyone about anything, with both parties enjoying the conversation, and then you are on the right track. Great negotiators and leaders master this skill, and it is something any man can learn with deliberate practice. And you? Can you maintain an interesting conversation with a stranger for more than 5 minutes? Rule 8. Never get drunk or wasted. When going out, losing control over your actions is just a reflection of who you really are, a loser. A gentleman can have fun without making a fool of himself. This feeds into everything we mentioned earlier about being a respectable individual and living according to a set of principles that will make you come out ahead of where you would have ended up otherwise. Consume, experience, enjoy, but never in excess. There is more to drinking than just beer and occasional wine. There is an entire universe of fine drinks with subtle differences and nuances indistinguishable to the common man. You can explore this without needing to embarrass yourself and those around you because of your lack of judgment and control. This type of mindset applies to everything you put into your body. Getting wasted is typical behavior of the common man. True leaders maintain control even during celebrations. And can you have fun without losing your dignity? Rule 9. Do not embarrass your partner by behaving in a way that puts them in a bad light. Building on the previous point, a gentleman prioritizes his relationship and family over the trivialities of life. If you are serious about the relationships you are in, you make them a priority. This is the person you will spend the rest of your life with, preferably. You build each other up, you elevate her, she elevates you, and that is how both end up, stronger. You have each other's backs, no matter what. A gentleman is capable of sincerely engaging in difficult conversations and being open about the struggles a relationship goes through, with the goal of overcoming them and coming out as a stronger couple in the end. Do not embarrass your partner by seeking alternatives behind their back, flirting with others, and looking for some side action without them knowing. These are never isolated incidents, and once you put the tiniest of cracks in what was once a perfect relationship, it is just a matter of time until the whole thing crumbles. Truly successful men have stable and respectful relationships. Loyalty is not just a virtue, it is a sign of character. Do you demonstrate loyalty in your relationships? Rule 10. Go after what you want without sacrificing your morality. A gentleman lives an extraordinary life, but it is extraordinary because he is pursuing his dreams while everyone else is compromising theirs or completely abandoning their dreams. As a culture, we have a fascination with people who never give up, who go after what they want and win the game by following the rules. The world sees them as special people. Poor countries are envious and hateful of rich and successful countries. This hatred comes from an inability to understand that success can be achieved by following the rules if you work hard enough. This thought process is cemented by obvious cases of corruption and people circumventing the law and getting easy money. Put these two facts together, and everyone ends up thinking that success immediately implies dishonest behavior. While this may be true for some developing nations, as time moves forward, we realize that these cases are slowly disappearing and being replaced by people who, through hard work, incredible intellect, and dedication, have achieved success beyond imagination. Just look at the 5 richest people in the world right now. They all built massive fortunes from a combination of traits mentioned earlier. The richest people with criminal backgrounds no longer come close to those who play the game by the rules and win. True winners in life maintain their integrity while pursuing success. Are you willing to compromise your values to win, or are you building something lasting and meaningful? Rule 11. Compliment your date. What might seem obvious to some of us is usually something most people ignore. A modern gentleman will always compliment a date when they start going out. It is a simple thing to do that holds much more value than people think. The first thing it does is acknowledge the interest you have in the other person through that compliment. The second thing is to reinforce the idea that you pay attention to your date. Almost everyone will put some extra effort before going on a date. She likely spent some time fixing her hair, choosing an outfit, at least 30 minutes of makeup, hoping to spark your interest. So a simple, "I love how you did your hair," or "You look amazing tonight," really goes a long way. The third thing it does is set the tone for the night. The compliment clears some of the unknowns, defines your interest, and helps her relax and enjoy herself throughout the evening. Let her know the things you find interesting about her life, and about the way she thinks, if that is the case. The world needs more kindness, and the perfect way to do that is to verbalize it. The great gentlemen of history understood the power of a sincere compliment. And you, can you genuinely notice and appreciate the qualities of others? Rule 12. Be in good health and clean. A gentleman knows that his life depends on the experiences he is able to enjoy. The healthier you are, the more you can experience. It is as simple as that. It all starts with better personal hygiene. Then you move on to what you consume. Then you start training your body. It is shocking to us how many people know they should be clean, eat healthily, and exercise, but never do it. For the rest of the world, this is a sign of who you are as a person, that you do not value your health and could care less if you smell bad. The direct effect is that valuable people will not want to waste their time with you. Thus, you end up surrounded by people with similar mindsets and habits. The great world leaders keep themselves fit and healthy, not out of vanity, but because they understand that body and mind are connected. Are you treating your body like the temple it should be? Rule 13. Speak well of others and avoid gossip. We always appreciate people saying nice things about us to other people. That is just how we are all wired. We avoid people who cannot keep secrets, who gossip, who would switch sides in an instant. This is because these individuals can no longer be trusted. Their word does not mean much, so why bother investing time in that relationship? A gentleman is the exact opposite of this person. He looks for the good in people and chooses to reward the positive behaviors of his colleagues and friends. Everyone wants to be around someone who is rooting for them and who is willing to hold them accountable. So, be that person. Reputation is built over decades and can be destroyed in seconds. How do you speak of others when they are not present? Rule 14. Do not offer unsolicited advice. A gentleman should be willing to help those who are open to receiving advice and act upon it. But there is a subtle difference there that is incredibly important. Everyone loves to give advice. No one wants to follow advice. So what is the point of wasting time on someone who will not follow through, even if you have the best intentions? After being proven wrong once or twice, you have to let them go. Everyone wants to give their opinion on what they would do if they were in your shoes, but they are not. They do not have the same values and mindset that you do. The reversal is also accurate. You cannot give extraordinary advice to people with a mediocre mindset. True masters only share knowledge with those who are ready to receive it. Are you wasting energy giving advice to someone who will never follow it? Rule 15. It is the little things. And by that, we are thinking of small actions that reflect what kind of person you are, how attentive you are to your partner and those around you. It is not old-fashioned to offer your jacket if she gets cold at night. It is not old-fashioned to switch sides with her, so you are the one walking closer to the street. It is not old-fashioned to hold the door open for anyone. You can tell someone is a gentleman by the way he behaves, the way he shakes your hand, the way he talks to the waiter, and his readiness to help in case of need. Speak your current language. Speak more languages if you can. There is no need to use obscene words in casual conversations. The things we used to regard as being a decent human being are now seen as chivalry and outdated. True gentlemen stand out not for grand gestures, but for consistency in every small interaction. Do you pay attention to details in how you treat others? Here is what I learned today. Being a gentleman is not about having expensive clothes or material goods. It is about character, behavior, and how you treat others. The 15 rules we discussed are not passing trends. They are timeless principles that distinguish extraordinary men from ordinary ones. If you want to master the art of true masculine elegance, subscribe now to the channel, activate the notification bell, and leave a like on this video. This is your first step to becoming the powerful and respected man you are destined to be. Elegance is power. Comment below if you agree.